The tropical outlook on the 6th of August 2025 as we continue to monitor different tropical systems across the Atlantic Ocean this morning. So first of all, let's talk about Tropical Storm Dexter, our fourth named system of the season, keeping itself off land, and that will continue throughout the rest of its lifespan. Currently winds of 40 miles per hour, pressure of 1005 millibars, moving east-northeastward at 12 miles per hour, are located at 38.9 degrees north, 61.3 degrees west. It is continuing to weaken as we speak right now. So we're expecting Dexter to remain as a tropical storm until early Friday, then it will turn post-tropical. After that, eventually it will join the jet stream as a whole. So here's Dexter right now, looking heavily affected by wind shear from these last couple of frames. Those convection are being pushed towards the eastern side of its center, and look at that spinning lower cloud tops. That is the low-level circulation center beginning to get exposed, which is strong signs of the weakening trend. Still, however, quite a decent amount of convection flying up around the center, so it's going to hold on for around maybe another 36-48 hours before turning post-tropical completely. So nothing to worry about Dexter, but we're also continuing to watch an area of interest located just off the coast of southeastern coast of the US. Currently designated by the NHC, having 10% chance of development in the next 2 days, moderate 40% in the next 7 days. Computer models are also raising their expectation for development of this potential system. So this is expected to develop from the same store boundary that has already produced Dexter a couple of days ago, but there's still question marks of whether, what exactly this thing's going to do. So the models has been frequently changing their prediction over the last couple of days, but here's the European ensembles. You can see on Thursday, a weak tropical depression will form a couple hundred miles off the east coast. It's going to track northeastward. Most of these members actually expecting it to remain as a tropical depression, and it's going to keep itself offshore in this latest run. And comparing to the GFS prediction, you can see tomorrow, which is Thursday, something begin to spin up, likely a tropical depression, and on Friday and Saturday it will begin to develop some tropical strong force wind. So GFS here actually expecting a higher intensity tropical storm possibly, and then it will move northeastward just like what the European model expecting, whilst keeping itself offshore as well. So both models expecting the system will not conduct direct landfall on the east coast, and that is something we want, of course. So what are the conditions looking like? Well, sea surface temperature around the east coast of the US are actually higher than normal temperatures comparing to maybe same time in the past years. Area around the system could develop is now up to around 30 degrees, really warming up here. That is certainly favorable for cyclonic development, and even if we go up to the tip of North Carolina, it's still going to maintain around 28-29 degrees, and then wind shear also looking quite decent, down to 10-15 knots, some places even at around 5 knots, definitely lower than where Dexter developed, so the organization of the system will be benefited by these. And the atmosphere also quite humid as well, obviously because we have the store boundary that is having a tremendous amount of moist in the atmosphere and is fueling this factor up. So the conditions are in fact quite favorable for development. So, at least the system could possibly become something, but still quite a bit of uncertainty, but we'll be continuing to update on that. So now the system we're looking at on this satellite imagery is a different system, just to mention. It's located around the Bahamas and north to the Greater Antilles. This one, isn't officially monitored by the National Hurricane Center yet, but I think we should not ignore it, of course, because this is a small tropical wave that is making its way across the Bahamas, possibly Florida later this week, and it could enter the Gulf around the weekend or earlier next week. So now the mainstream computer models, and of course NHC, isn't picking up on that. But if we look at the our latest technological advancement in the Google Weather Labs model, which has been performing quite well recently. If you look at the forecast, you can see these green spots that are now appearing at the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, are actually representing the members of the Google model expecting a tropical storm to form in the Gulf near the state of Florida, around that eastern part of the Gulf, around the west coast of Florida. And then this storm is going to move northwards, eventually making landfall at the Gulf Coast. Location of the landfall is quite divergent right now. It's stretching from the panhandle of Florida towards Louisiana. But of course, right now, only this model is picking on that. And I'm not saying this is 100% going to happen. A tropical storm is not definitely going to form in the Gulf. But I'm just saying maybe we should keep our heads up about this potential event, because when a tropical wave that has, certain tropicality and certain structure entering a Gulf in summertime, which is currently looking really good, the conditions are looking quite good because, warm sea surface temperatures, of course, one of the big factor. Something could form in there based on these favorable developmental conditions. So we're going to have to be keeping our eye on that. And, maybe the mainstream model or the NXC will pick up that later this week. So looking back at the open Atlantic Ocean, we have another area of interest that could possibly develop. A National Hurricane Center giving a 10% chance in the next 2 days, 50% in the next 7 days. So, the main possibility of developmental time is probably after these 48 hours that is coming up. And you can see it's located at the bottom of our animation of the satellite around here, producing some disorganized thunderstorms. Now, it's worth noticing that condition right now in the near future isn't the best for development for this system. I see surface temperature looking below average in the main development region and comparing to the same time of the year in the past, around 26-27 degrees by now. But as it moves westward, it's going to get warmer. Look at these spots of 20 or even 30 degrees. Humidity at the moment also going to cause struggle to the system. Look at those dry air coming from the continent of Africa. That is the Saharan dust located towards the north of the system. This is the European model run. Look at those dust. It's going to stay for quite a long time, and the system's going to move straight into the dry air in this forecast. And it's not until around next week it really is going to escape that and begin to have a more visible spin up and humid development. But the dry air is still going to be affecting it to a certain extent. So in the next couple of days, we're really not going to see significant development. But as we go into next week, we could see a bit more from it. So, European ensembles again, all members expecting a pathway away from land. It's going to move northeastward, then it's going to curve towards the north, keeping itself offshore. Intensity-wise, most of them expecting a weak tropical depression or storm for the early part of its lifespan as we enter next week. And you can see it will begin to develop a high-end tropical storm. Some members even expecting a hurricane as it moves northwards. So that is going to be interesting. Also, you can see as we go further in the forecast, the members are expecting another tropical cyclone to form in the main development region. That one is going to track westward. I think this possible cyclone is related to another tropical wave that is moving westward that has formed in Africa, I think earlier in a couple of days ago. This one maybe is going to track westward much more than the first wave, possibly impacting the Latin Antilles, and then it will enter the Caribbean Sea. But again, we're looking, something that is 1 or 2 weeks ahead of now, so the uncertainties are tremendous. So don't panic now, we will keep you updated in future videos. So thanks for joining me this morning, we'll keep you updated and we'll see you on the next one.